Good morning to all. Hello friends. I am your friend Dr. Shubh Patel. Today we will discuss about a question from Lab Animal Medicine. Question. Which of the following species has a gallbladder? Options: A. Rattus norvegicus. B. Marians unguiculatus. C. Columbolivia. D. Chrysochilus gruus. E. Chrysitis chrysitis. Answer. The correct answer is B. Marians unguiculatus. This is the Mongolian gerbil. Step 1. What is the gallbladder, and why is it important? First, we need to understand what the gallbladder does. The gallbladder is a small organ located beneath the liver. Its function is to store and concentrate bile, which is produced by the liver. Bile helps in the digestion and absorption of fats. However, not all animals need a gallbladder. Some species continuously secrete bile into the intestine and do not store it. Species that eat frequently, or have less fatty diets, often lose the gallbladder over evolutionary time. For example, horses, rats, and pigeons are species that don't have a gallbladder. Why? Because they eat either constantly or a plant-based, low-fat diet where bile storage is less essential. Step 2, let's go option by option. Option A, Rattus norvegicus, common rat. Now, the rat is a common laboratory animal, and you might assume it has a gallbladder. But surprisingly, it does not. Rats do not have a gallbladder. Their bile is continuously secreted into the small intestine. Rats eat very frequently. They are grazers and omnivorous scavengers. Because of their feeding behavior, they don't need to store bile for fatty meals. So this option is incorrect. Option B, Marians unguiculatus, Mongolian gerbil. Now this is interesting. The Mongolian gerbil does have a gallbladder. Even though it's a small rodent like the rat, there is an important difference in its natural habitat and diet. Gerbils come from desert regions and have adapted to periods of feast and fast. Their diet can include seeds and insects, which are higher in fat compared to the typical rodent diet. So, having a gallbladder helps them store and concentrate bile for better fat digestion when needed. This is our correct answer. Option C, Columbolivia, pigeon. What about the pigeon? Birds have interesting variations. Some birds have gallbladders, and some don't. Pigeons specifically lack a gallbladder. Their bile flows directly from the liver to the intestine. Since they mostly eat grains and seeds, not a high-fat diet, they don't require bile storage. So, this option is incorrect. Option D, Chrysochilus gruus, Chinese hamster. Chinese hamsters are widely used in research, especially in biotechnology, remember CHO cells. However, when it comes to anatomy, they are like many rodents, they do not have a gallbladder. Their bile secretion is continuous. This is incorrect. Option E, Chrysitis chrysitis, European hamster. European hamster, the larger cousin of the Chinese hamster. Unfortunately, like their relatives, they do not have a gallbladder either. Their feeding habits and digestive physiology are adapted for continuous bile secretion. So, this is also incorrect. Step 3, summarize with explanation. So, let's review. Out of all these options, only Marians unguiculatus, the Mongolian gerbil, has a gallbladder. The others, the rat, pigeons, and both types of hamsters, do not have a gallbladder. Their bile is secreted directly from the liver to the intestine. This pattern aligns with dietary habits and ecological adaptations. Animals that graze continuously or eat low-fat diets tend not to need bile storage, while those with variable or high-fat intake benefit from having a gallbladder. Step 4, extra information for deeper understanding. I want to give you some interesting facts and figures here, because you'll find these useful not just for exams, but also for research and practical applications. In mammals, species like cows and sheep, which are ruminants, have a gallbladder because they need to process dietary lipids, even though they are herbivores. Dogs, cats, and pigs also have well-developed gallbladders. Horses and rats lack a gallbladder due to continuous feeding and low-fat diets. In birds, the presence of a gallbladder varies by species. Ducks and geese have a gallbladder, while pigeons and parrots do not. In reptiles and amphibians, most reptiles have a gallbladder. Amphibians generally have one too. Evolutionary point. The absence of a gallbladder is an example of regressive evolution. When an organ becomes unnecessary due to dietary or behavioral adaptations, it may be lost over time. Functional significance. In animals with gallbladders, bile is more concentrated, up to 10 to 20 times more concentrated than liver bile. This increases its effectiveness in emulsifying dietary fats. Gallbladder diseases. Species with gallbladders are susceptible to diseases like gallstones, cholelithiasis, and cholecystitis, whereas species without gallbladders do not face such issues. Step 5. Closing remarks. So my dear students, next time you think about the gallbladder, don't just memorize names, think of it as a story of dietary adaptation and evolutionary efficiency. Remember, animals that need rapid, concentrated bile for fat digestion like the Mongolian gerbil retain the gallbladder. Animals with constant feeding patterns and simpler diets like rats and pigeons have lost it over evolutionary time. The correct answer to our question is option B, Marians unguiculatus. Alright class, let's go deeper into the gallbladder anatomy and function, not in general animals, but specifically in laboratory animal species. You will see how anatomy directly connects to feeding behavior, metabolism, and even how diseases might differ between species in your lab. First, quick recap. What is the gallbladder? The gallbladder is a small muscular sac located under the liver. Its main role is to store and concentrate bile before releasing it into the small intestine, particularly after a meal, to help digest fats. But not all animals need this storage tank. Animals that eat frequently or graze all day like rats and rabbits secrete bile continuously and have lost the gallbladder over time. Now, let's go species by species. Lab animals you actually work with. 1. Mouse, Mus musculus. Mice do have a gallbladder, unlike their larger cousin the rat. Their gallbladder is small but functional. When dissecting a mouse, you can see the gallbladder tucked under the right lobe of the liver. It collects bile and releases it into the duodenum. Mice are omnivorous but opportunistic feeders, and their gallbladder supports bile storage during fasting and for fat digestion. Practical note. In mouse necropsy, take care while removing the liver to not rupture the gallbladder. Also, in toxicology studies, bile duct and gallbladder histopathology are occasionally assessed for cholestasis or chemical-induced changes. 2. Rattus norvegicus. This is a favorite exam question. Rats do not have a gallbladder. Their liver produces bile continuously, and it drains directly into the duodenum via the bile duct. Why? Rats eat small amounts of food frequently throughout the day and night. This feeding behavior eliminates the need for bile storage. Practical note. During rat dissection, you won't find a gallbladder, so do not waste time looking. Histopathological analysis focuses on liver and bile ducts but not on a gallbladder. 3. Gerbil, Marians unguiculatus. Gerbils do have a gallbladder, and this makes them unique among small rodent lab species. Why? Gerbils come from desert environments and often experience periods of feast and famine. Their gallbladder helps store bile for efficient fat digestion after periods without food. Practical note. In dissection, you will find the gallbladder under the liver. Gerbils are also susceptible to lipid metabolism disorders, which makes this organ clinically relevant in research. For hamsters, Chrysitis European hamster, Chrysocholis gris Chinese hamster. Both the European and Chinese hamsters lack a gallbladder. Similar to rats, they have continuous bile secretion. Their diet of seeds and grains does not require bile concentration. Practical note. No gallbladder will be seen on necropsy. Bile analysis must be done directly from the bile duct or liver. 5. Rabbit, Oryctolagus cuniculus. Rabbits are herbivores, and they do have a gallbladder. Their gallbladder stores bile, which is periodically released to digest fats present in fibrous plant material. Practical note. The rabbit's gallbladder is relatively small. In liver pathology studies, gallbladder and bile duct inflammation can be important in dietary studies. 6. Guinea pig, Cavia porcellus. Guinea pigs do have a gallbladder. Although they are strict herbivores, their gallbladder stores and concentrates bile, especially useful for digesting fatty acids in seeds and plant oils. Practical note. The guinea pig's gallbladder is visible in dissection. Guinea pigs are models for gallbladder contraction studies. 7. Dog, Beagle common lab species. In larger lab animals, such as the beagle dog, the gallbladder is well developed. Dogs eat meals that may contain significant fats, and the gallbladder plays an essential role in fat digestion. Practical note: dogs are used in preclinical pharmacology for studying bile metabolism and gallbladder diseases. Additional notes across lab species. Presence of gallbladder often correlates with feeding pattern and diet composition. Gallbladder size varies with species, generally larger in animals with episodic feeding habits. Gallbladder histopathology is important in toxicity studies, especially rodents with gallbladder, like mice and gerbils. Gallbladder contraction tests, guinea pigs and dogs are used for studying gallbladder motility. Refer comparative summary table for lab animals. Final tip: always connect anatomy to the animal's lifestyle. Animals that graze continuously or have simple plant-based diets tend to lose the gallbladder over evolution. Animals that experience periods of fasting or eat fattier diets retain the gallbladder for bile storage. And remember, these anatomical features aren't just trivia, they are vital for understanding disease models, drug metabolism, and even interpreting necropsy findings in your lab animal studies. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day ahead and save your patient with love and dedication. Please subscribe and like. See you soon on next video. Till then, bye from Dr. Shubh Patel.